What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. So, first things first, before we get any further into this banger, thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity. Shout out to the Rich Gang family for coming through. And, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Be sure to go ahead and turn on post notifications so you can catch me when I upload every single day. Hit that like button and be sure to drop a comment down below when done. So as y'all can see by the looks of the title and the screen today, I am bringing y'all the top 3 best dribble god builds to use on NBA 2K22 next gen. So first up, I had to go ahead and put the rare point forward build. We're going to be making it out of the small forward position, of course, but I'm telling you, with this build, you're going to be able to get over 100 badges and as well as get contact dunks, as well as even have a build that is pretty well rounded. Now, when it comes down to the breakdown of the stats in each and every single build, please be sure to follow along until you finally get the build name at the end. And if you feel like making your own adjustments, just do it after we have made it already. So now let's go ahead and get into it. As you can see, when it comes down to that driving dunk, you will be getting the pro contact dunks once we adjust the vertical. But honestly, we actually get Hall of Fame back down Punisher with 25 finishing badges. Now that is very solid in my opinion. When it comes down to the shooting, I'm going to go ahead and put the mid-range to an 82. Three-pointer is going to be the same exact thing. And then for the free throw, I'm going to go ahead and put this to a 61. And right there, we're going to be able to get 24 shooting badges. Now let's go ahead and move on to the playmaking. As you can see, we're actually going to be able to get a good amount of badges in this area as well. Of course, it's a point forward, so I would suspect that. 28 badges. I'm liking how the setup is looking right now. Now let's go ahead and get into the defensive end. Probably the most important part of any build that I bring to y'all. As you can see, we're going to go ahead and put up our defensive rebound, offensive rebound, perimeter defense, make the steal go up a little bit for badge purposes, and you're going to end up with 22 defensive badges. Now, for the physicals, this all comes down to your personal preference and how you feel about going about it. But for me, I'm gonna max out that speed, go with the 78 acceleration, 70 vertical, and then when it comes down to the stamina, if you want to adjust this, you definitely can do it. If you want to put it to 99, go ahead and do so. If you want to put it in the 90s, go ahead and change it to your liking. But this is pretty much what the build would be looking like once you max it out completely. Now here is where things are going to get very special for this build. Once you consider which takeover that you do put on this build, I'm telling you, it's really going to take it over the top. I would definitely go ahead and say this would be one of the best perfect 1v1 builds to use when it comes down to next gen. Now you get the slashing takeover, shot creating, playmaking paired up with the post scoring. Now whichever your play style is more like, go ahead and base it off of that. But for me, just to make this build that much more unique, I would definitely go ahead and think about going with the ankle breaking shots takeover. Then you can possibly consider the slashing for more contact dunks, but I would definitely have to say power backdowns or even advanced post scoring moves would be what I would go with. I'm gonna leave it up to y'all. And as you can see, we have made the points forward build. I love the comparisons of Scottie Pippen, Jaylen Brown, and RJ Barrett. Now let's go ahead and get into the second build. A little bit of a mixed lockdown defender build into this one. Going to be called the two-way threat. Now, this is a point guard, 6'1", and as you can see, we will definitely be able to be getting that lockdown defender takeover. That's honestly a huge difference compared to most builds that are able to dribble, because this one is really going to be well rounded, especially on the defensive end as well. So now let's go ahead and get into the making. I promise you the builds are only going to continue to get even better as we go down along the line. So when it comes down to this one, like I said earlier, go with 6'1" for the height. As for the weight, I'm gonna go ahead and put this to 178 with a 6'10" wingspan. Now when it comes down to the breakdown of these stats, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Just follow along exactly as I'm showing y'all. And right here on this build, we're actually going to be able to get contact dunks as well. So in my opinion, pairing that up with the fact that we get a very strong defensive performance on this build makes it even better all around. Now, 28 badges for the finishing, but 29 for the shooting, y'all. You're gonna have a good amount of options to pick from. I'm telling you, as long as you make it as I'm showing y'all, everything is going to work out in your favor. Now, let's go ahead and get into the playmaking. As you can see, 27 badges, still really solid, and this is a two-way threat build. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, as y'all can see, I'm getting the notifications on my phone. I'm sorry about that, but let's go ahead and get back into it. 20 for the defensive end. Then for the physicals, we're going to go ahead and get physicals maxed out except for the strength. Now, 85 vertical, 90 stamina is going to be perfect, and then we get an 89 acceleration with a 92 speed, y'all. This all comes down to how you want to go about it, but I'm telling you, this is definitely the best way that you can go about it when it comes down to making this exact build. Now, y'all can see the slashing takeover, shot creating paired up with the sharpshooting, and then the lockdown defender takeover. Whichever one you want to pick, go ahead and do so, but I'm telling you, all of these takeovers are really solid for this build. I'm going to go with the shot creating, ankle breaking shots takeover just to break the ankles. Then, like I said earlier, this is a two-way threat build, so you can definitely go ahead and say that picking a lockdown takeover is definitely going to help you out. And as y'all can see, we have made the two-way threat build. I love the comparison of John Morant as well as the Aaron Fox, but that means we have one final build left to go through. That means it's going to be the one and only OG playmaking shot creator build, y'all. Now with this one, we're making it 6'2", or you can even go up to 6 feet exactly. It all comes down to how you want to go about it. There are actually multiple ways to go about making this build as well. So if you are still watching, go ahead and let me know down below in the comment section, what do y'all think of these fire builds that I have been dropping for y'all? But also let me know, out of these three builds, which one are you going to be making for yourself? Now, I appreciate y'all, all the support. Go ahead and hit that like button, drop a comment down below. Y'all most definitely know that I got y'all with a response. So with the height on this build, we're going with 6 feet. As for the weight, you can go with the lowest if you want to, but I'm going to go with 171. Then for the wingspan, I'm going to put this to 6'1", with the body shape of built or even burly if you have the potential to get it. It all comes down to what you want to do, but now let's go ahead and get into the breakdown. So you already know what you need to do. Just be sure to go ahead and follow along when it comes down to these stats. So pretty much with the finishing, this is what it's going to be looking like. We get a close shot of 85 with a driving layup. That's going to be the same thing. But when it comes down to the mid-range shot, this is going to go up as well when it comes down to upgrading your finishing. So just keep that in mind. Now, if you want to go ahead and upgrade your driving dunk, you definitely can do that, but look at the potential that we get on this build with the shooting. 35 shooting badges, and pretty much all of them are on Hall of Fame. Now, I'm making it exactly this way, just so that way I can spread the wealth into the playmaking, defensive end, as well as our physicals. From here, this all comes down to what you want to do when it comes down to the breakdown of how you're going to make this build. Again, it's all coming down to your personal play style and what you feel comfortable with. Now, for the playmaking, as you can see, another 35 badges. That means I cannot leave you hanging. When it comes down to the defensive end, 21 badges in total when it comes down to the defense. But we still got to go ahead and use the rest of the stats for the physicals. So I'm going to go with a 91 speed, and right here all you got to go ahead and do is make a few minor adjustments, and then from here we're going to be able to upgrade the stamina. I would really consider changing a few things about this build just to make sure that you're able to maintain at least a 90 plus stamina. Now for the free throw, that is key about this build. You want to be sure to keep it above 60 just to take it into any game mode for this build. But this is pretty much what the build is going to be looking like. As you can see, we are going to be able to get 21 defensive badges, 35 playmaking, then on top of all that we get 35 shooting. Then finally, when it comes down to the finishing, we do get 16. Now again, You can change anything about this play shot if you want to, but I definitely went back and forth with making sure that I found the best possible way to make this build. Now, when it comes down to the takeovers, pick whichever one you feel comfortable with. For me, I would have to say picking the lockdown and the sharpshooting would be really solid, or you can go with the shot creating. I'm going to leave it up to y'all, man, but just know, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Turn on post notifications to join the Rich Gang family. Hit that like button and drop a comment down below when done. As you can see, this is the third Playmaking Shot Creator Dribble God build coming at y'all. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. And man, Rich out.